Hey kids! Welcome to Faith Tunes World, where Bible adventures come alive through fun and colorful animation. Have you ever looked up at the big, bright sun or the sparkly stars at night and wondered, where did all of this come from? It's a huge question, right? Well, today we're going on an amazing adventure back in time, way, way back. We're going to open up a very special book, the Bible, to the very first page in a book called Genesis. It tells the incredible story of how our amazing world was made. It's a story filled with light, water, animals, and you. It's going to be an epic journey. So get comfy, and let's dive into the most amazing creation story ever told. Imagine a time before anything. Before your favorite toys, before trees, before the sky, even before light. It was completely dark and empty. But someone was there. God was there. And God had a wonderful plan. On the very first day, God spoke, and with just his words, something incredible happened. He said, "Let there be light." And just like that, bam! Light appeared, chasing all the darkness away. It was the first sunrise ever. God saw that the light was good, so he separated it from the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night. And that was the end of the very first day. One whole day created just like that. Isn't that amazing? The world had begun. So, after the first amazing day of light and darkness, what happened next? On day 2, God looked at all the water that was everywhere. It was like a giant worldwide ocean. He said, "Let's make some space in the middle of all this water." So, with his mighty power, he separated the water. He pushed some of it up, and kept some of it down. The space he made in between he called sky. So now there was a beautiful, big, wide-open sky above the water below. Can you look up right now? If you're inside, imagine the ceiling is the sky. God made that. It was the perfect canopy for the world he was building. And God saw that the sky was good. And that was the end of the second day. Now we're on to day 3, and this is where things get really exciting and green. The world had light and a sky, but it was still very watery. So God spoke again and said, "Let the water gather together in one place and let dry ground appear." And whoosh! The water moved and formed oceans and seas, and for the first time land popped up. We had beaches and dirt and mountains. But God wasn't finished. He looked at the new bare land and thought, this needs some color. So he said, "Let the land sprout with vegetation." And instantly, beautiful green grass started to grow like a soft carpet. Then came all sorts of plants, colorful flowers, and tall, strong trees that could grow their own fruit, like yummy apples and sweet oranges. The world was bursting with life. God saw everything he had made, and it was very good, and that was day 3. On day 4, God looked at the beautiful sky he had made. It was big and blue during the day, but he thought, it needs some decorations. So, God made 2 great lights. He made a giant, brilliant light to rule the day, and we call it the sun. It gives us warmth and helps the plants grow. Then he made a softer, gentler light to shine at night. What do you think that is? The moon! But he didn't stop there. He thought the night sky needed a little more sparkle. So he took handfuls of glittery light and scattered them all across the dark sky. And those became the stars, twinkling and shining, each one special. These lights weren't just pretty. They were also there to help us mark the seasons, the days, and the years. So every time you see a sunset or wish upon a star, you can remember day 4. God saw these beautiful lights, and he knew they were good. Let's move on to day 5. The land was full of plants, and the sky had the sun, moon, and stars. But the oceans were quiet, and the sky was empty of creatures. So God said, "Let the waters be filled with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the sky." And suddenly the water was teeming with life. Tiny fish, giant whales, playful dolphins, and all sorts of amazing sea creatures started swimming and splashing. The oceans were no longer quiet. At the same time, the sky filled with the flapping of wings. Eagles soared high. Little sparrows chirped in the trees, and colorful parrots flew by. The air was filled with beautiful bird songs. The world was now splashing and singing with life. God blessed them and told them to fill the waters and the sky. He looked at all the swimming, flying creatures and saw that it was very good. We're almost at the end of our creation story. Welcome to day 6. This was a very, very busy day. The sea and sky were full, but the land was still empty of animals. So God said, "Let the land produce living creatures," and out they came. First came all the livestock, animals like cows, sheep, and goats. Then came the wild animals. Lions with their loud roars, tall giraffes munching on leaves, speedy cheetahs, and big, gentle elephants. And don't forget the little creatures that crawl on the ground, like wiggly worms and busy ants. The land was now filled with walking, hopping, and crawling creatures of all shapes and sizes. But God saved the most special part of his creation for last on this day. He said, "Let us make mankind in our own image." And so, from the dust of the ground, God formed the very first man. He breathed his own breath into him, and the man became a living person. God named him Adam. God saw that Adam was all alone, so he caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. While he was sleeping, God took one of Adam's ribs and made the first woman, Eve, to be his friend and helper. Adam and Eve were special because they were made to be like God, to love him and take care of the beautiful world he had made. God put them in a wonderful garden called Eden, a perfect home. He looked at everything he had made on day 6, including Adam and Eve, and he saw that it was not just good, it was very good. It was his masterpiece. And now we've arrived at the final day, day 7. After 6 days of incredible work, creating light, sky, land, plants, sun, moon, stars, birds, and all the animals, and finally people, God was finished. Everything in his amazing world was complete and perfect. So, on the 7th day, God didn't create anything new. Instead, he rested. He stopped his work to enjoy everything he had made. He looked at the beautiful world, a world filled with his love and goodness, and he was pleased. Because he rested on this day, God blessed the 7th day and made it holy. He set it apart as a special day of rest and peace for everyone to enjoy his creation and to remember him. It's a reminder for us to also take time to rest and thank God for the wonderful world we live in. And that is the story of how everything began. In just 7 days, God turned nothing into everything. He painted the sky, filled the oceans, and covered the land with life, all leading up to his most special creation, people. The next time you see a beautiful sunset, or hear a bird singing, or feel the grass between your toes, remember this amazing story. Remember the God who created it all just for you, because he loves you. The whole world is like a giant, beautiful gift, showing us just how powerful, creative, and loving our God is. It's an incredible story, and it's just the beginning of all the wonderful things in the Bible. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey back to the beginning of time.